Hi, Joe Doyle here. As a former bricklayer turned property investor, I would not be where I am today if I didn't first learn the art of business. Nowadays, a big part of my life is helping other tradesmen grow their business and create wealth by sharing my knowledge, insights and experience. Welcome to the Tradesman Survival Guide podcast. All of the strategies discussed in my podcasts are taken directly from my book, The Tradesman Survival Guide, which is available at www.joedoyle.ie/TSG. TSG, of course, being Tradesman Survival Guide. So, in today's episode, I speak to Greg Bates of After Rain Construction. Greg is just literally in business less than a year now, and he's going through all the ups and downs of being in business, making money on jobs, losing money on jobs, you know, getting the right people to do work for him, having family members working for him. So it's a good conversation here, and I want to thank Greg for the good work he's doing. And Greg's company is After Rain Construction, and they're based out here in Dublin, and they deal around Dublin, Kildare area, all that sort of area. So if you need anything for himself, be sure to check him out, After Rain Construction. Mr. Greg, how you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. I don't know how I missed that. Sorry, just sitting here looking at it.
No worries, we're chatting now. That is the main thing. So tell me, my friend, how has things been since we last spoke?
Mental.
Are you making loads of money?
No, not really.
Wasn't expecting to say that. You've got loads of work for, yeah?
Yeah, so when we last spoke, I was doing small sort of renovations. I can't remember if I told you about an attic I done and I lost 2 weeks' wages. I think I did tell you, but then I did your cost sheet at the end of it and realised how I lost it and why I lost it. And when it came to pricing the next ones, I adjusted accordingly, and I've since got one at that price. So that felt good to know that I was underpricing, and now that I've priced it properly, I'm still able to get the work. So it gave me a sense of value, sort of, I suppose.
Yeah, it wasn't a complete waste of it. Obviously, nobody recommends losing money on a job, but you ain't going to do that again.
Exactly. And I feel like even though I lost money on that job, that the new one that I priced accordingly came from that person. So I sort of cut my teeth there and got work out of it.
Brilliant. Okay. I wouldn't class that as a failure.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Just don't fucking do it again, yeah?
No. And then since that, so I was kind of doing those sorts of things. I'm now on an extension, which I priced at like €66,000 using a tender that. So last year I got Ronan McGrath to price something and it fell through. Well, he gave me a good breakdown on things, and I used that and the knowledge I have to price this extension and priced it at €66,000. Now I don't think had I not have worked with Ronan or had the experience of the last year, I would have been anywhere near that. In my head, I was thinking, you know, it's 30 square meters, you probably do it for 30 grand.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely getting the hang of the pricing thing slowly but surely. Also, a client of a company I used to work with called me in November and asked me to price a restaurant fit out.
Okay,
it's actually good. Do you know those?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Eat out there the odd time.
Yeah, so I priced that. Again, I feel like it's very, very new to me doing shop fit outs, and I ended up managing like some days there were 20 men there, and every single one of them was calling me and, you know, where does this go, where does that go? So it was interesting.
So
I haven't made a whole lot of money.
Has this job been done and all?
It's about 90% finished now.
Okay. And how's the figures on it?
So I would say I paid wages for people that were there, I paid the subcontractors, and I paid materials, and I would say off the end of it, I'm probably going to have made maybe €6,000 or €7,000 over an 8 to 9 week period.
Okay, it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
But you got your wage as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
What it's also taught me is the same as the attic. Okay, now I have everything recorded and written down. I can look back over it, and he wants me to do another one. And I'm now of the mindset, yeah, no problem, I'll do it, but I'll be doing it at the price that I gave. And if you don't like it, I have enough work to refuse.
Yes.
As much as I probably wouldn't like to, because they're doing 15 shops. I actually spoke with Martin I'm forgetting his name now. Martin Dormer.
Cool dude.
Before that,
very nice guy.
yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I did some work with him as well. I was telling you.
Oh
But I
yeah, he said
called
he
him
was
for a
happy with
bit.
the work you done from. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad he was. I definitely recommend him to anyone coming up or looking to work for. He's a great lad.
Yeah.
But I called him for some advice on the shop fit out, and he just said, "Look, Greg, you're trying to get to the table. At the end of the day, they're going to go with the cheapest." So he was giving me some sort of tips on how to price it, and yeah, I ended up winning the tender to my surprise. Because even going in, this is what I mean about learning the value of things. And going in, I think I had it priced at €105,000. And that was to do all the building work, the tiling, the painting, the carpentry, and buy some furniture at the end, like tables and chairs and things like that. And I thought, I'm not getting this. This is way too dear. But this is what it is according to my figures and my calculations. So I didn't think I was getting it. Then he said, "Look, it's too dear. Go away. Instead of using earth-fired knits of tiles, which are €100 square meters, find something that looks like them but doesn't cost that, and cut corners on materials." And I was like, okay. So I went away and I cut corners and materials and came back at 87.
Without compromising the job, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I kept the preliminaries in there. So then I came back at 87 and I won the tender. Now I quickly sort of ate into the preliminaries and the profit that I thought I might make out of it. So I kind of had 16,000 earmarked. I thought if I make 16,000 at the end of it, of an 8-week project, I'm delighted. But
yes.
A lot of you just find yourself like there's a lot of things you don't see that quickly add up to hundreds and thousands. And,
yes.
So yeah.
Can I give you a little tactic on that? And first of all, Greg, fair play to you, man. You're playing a stormer. Like how long are you in business now?
Since June.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to a business owner here.
Okay.
You know, and I do notice that transition with people that, you know, when I first get to know them, they're either tradesmen that's overworked and trying to run a business, or they're tradesmen who aspire to be business owners. And then as you start talking to them, you just see that you just hear it in them that they're confident about what they're saying when it comes to getting stuff done and pricing stuff. So no, that's nice to hear. Just let me tell you something. Just when it comes to the pricing, right? Okay. We all have certain biases that we'll have a tendency to forget about, yeah?
Okay.
Or we'll have a tendency to understate or overstate. So what to do is whatever area, go back and price the jobs a second time round, right? So you're expecting to make 16k out of that job, and in the end you made 9, yeah?
Yeah, in the end I say I made 6 or 7.
Oh, 7. Okay, so you made half, right? Just say the profit was half what you expected. Find out exactly where that job has overran, yeah?
Yeah.
And the next time then, when you're doing a job like that, you need to either increase those particular parts of the job in terms of price, or you need to put more focus on those particular parts of the job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What was happening with us a fair bit was that we would be doing, say, like ceiling replacement and a stud replacement, say a small £5,000 job, and that included the ceiling and a stud replacement. And I'd be like, yeah, look, sure, you know, just disconnect the lights, pull the socket out, put it back into the wall. And that was fine in that, like, you wouldn't need much more than 2 call outs for a sparks a lot of the times. But sometimes something would go amiss, and then it would turn into, you know, rather than being like a £400 job for the sparks, it turned into £1,400 because you might have missed that there was a couple of spotlights in the room as opposed to just a single pendant. And it might have been that when the lads took down the floor and the ceiling, the cables came out or something like that. And that was an area where I was continually getting caught on certain jobs because I just wasn't differentiating correctly between a simple call out, disconnect, and another one reconnect, and an actual day's work for a sparks with materials, if that made sense, you know. So just keep an eye on that. Go back over that document now, figure out exactly where you made your money and where you didn't make your money, and then the next time the margin on your job will be that bit smaller, as in what you project to make and what you actually make will be closer together. And that's really the process you need to go through at all times, you know.
Yeah, one of the things that caught me out in the restaurant was the architects spec these things called living vertical walls. and I kind of missed that it was actually from a company called Living Walls. So
right.
I just thought, I've seen them on Instagram. They look easy. They just plant stuff in the wall.
Yeah.
No problem. And then I got into it, and next of all, it needed designing, and we had to come up with this design for it. Then we had to find this. So I thought you just put it in felt pockets. And when I got speaking to someone in the know, they said, no, it'll turn moldy, and if it's in a restaurant, you're going to be in trouble. That's fine outside. Then I found out it needed an automatic irrigation system. It also needed drainage. And before I knew it, there was like a guy or two on this thing for 3-4 days that I hadn't accounted for. Then I had to buy the vertical wall system, which was €1,000. Then I still have to buy the plants. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I actually didn't put this in the price in order I specify it. But I'm after having a meeting with the client, and he said, and you're doing the wall? And I just went, yeah, no problem. So there's still a bit of old me that still thinks that's easy, I'll do that. That's no problem. And I'm not realizing that every single little thing costs money. But I did, like I said, I've realized it. And on the next one, so when I'm pricing the next one, I know that these Living Walls, because I rang the company and said, I decided to bite the bullet and say, look, this is going to cost me loads of time and money. I'm just going to ring this company and see how much it is. And when I was talking to him, I said, I have €2,000 in the budget for it. Is that enough? And he laughed at me.
Right.
And so at that point, I was like, shit, now I'm going to have to do this myself. Yeah, because if I get these in, I'm down a lot of money. Whereas if I try and do it myself, I might save on some labour. So I will get it done, but I know the next time going around, that we're probably looking more like €5,000 to do these 2 features.
Right, yeah.
So,
and what that's done is that's eating into your profit as opposed to costing you money. Like, so it's at least you had a bit of margin on it,
yeah.
But like the thing here is, like, we don't want to be learning by trial and error. We want to be learning from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
At all times. So now, in fairness, I think you've kind of mastered that a little bit. Remember way back there, you had a couple of problematic jobs. The first job you done turned in problematic, and the guys gave you a steer.
Well, yeah.
And what, the second one as well?
Yeah, he tried to stitch me for €3,000 at the end of it, and I put my heart and soul into the thing. I couldn't believe he was doing it. Brought in an engineer friend at the end who was spouting some bullshit about a pipe, but he was wrong, and I ended up getting a lot of advice from Bert, another guy in the group, a plumber, and yourself. And I went in and I just kind of stood my ground and gently didn't break down the relationship, and just argued my point and pointed out all the good work and whatnot, and the reason I put the pipes insulated and blah 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 blah. And he kind of had no leg to stand on. He paid the money. And
can I just ask you something on there, right? So look, you're kind of a year into business now, right? And you're obviously a lot better now than when you were starting from scratch, right? How much of those disagreements would you say was down to yourself at the start, or what would you be of the opinion that it was the clients were seeing a little bit of uncertainty about you and they kind of took advantage? What would you say it is?
I've read Jocko Willing's, if I'm pronouncing that right, book.
Jocko Willink.
Yeah,
extreme
also
ownership.
advised by you guys. Yeah, so I'm taking full responsibility. I think I could have communicated with the clients more. I think if I'd have communicated more with the very, very first job about the changes, he wouldn't have tried to spring this whole 25% decrease in the price on me. And with the second one, I think I should have communicated a bit more. So I'm learning that, and I'm literally just after saying this to someone today. I still need to work on myself and my communication and involve the clients more and have a bit more transparency, so that nothing sort of creeps up a week or two and they're like, you didn't tell me that, or there's just no sort of surprises. Yeah, I'm going to take full responsibility. I think I could have avoided all of those arguments.
Yeah, brilliant. That's I'm actually happy to hear you say that, because even if the client is not clued in and you're not clued in, well, you're supposed to be the professional, so the responsibility stops with you.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you're willing to say, yeah, look, I'll put my hands up, I could have handled it a bit better. That's good, man. That just shows that you're taking ownership of the situation. You're taking extreme ownership of the situation, as Jocko calls it, which is brilliant. That's good going. So what's the pipeline of the business like?
So at the minute I have this extension which will bring me into the start of May. Then I have an attic that instead of pricing at 13.5 grand and losing my nuts on it, I have it priced at €21,000, and I'm starting that in April. I'm finishing this shop. I also have another restaurant fit out that he wants to start immediately. I don't really know how we're going to get around it with what's going on, but we're in talks. And then I have another small extension. To be honest, I have more work than I can do. The huge problem for me right now is staff.
Okay.
I cannot find and I'm doing the look. I put a post up and lads were like, ask your friends. I have been looking. I'm now in contact with a girl who works for a government funded agency, and she's going to try and put a few people my way in CVs and things like that. I just want someone who cares.
What's a government funded agency?
So she's like a recruitment, but you know, when these government recruitment agencies think that people are out of work and they sign up to these.
Oh yeah. I don't know what the quality of people will be like from there, you know. At this day and age, like if you're out of work now, at this day and age, you know, I'd ask you to just have a quick check in the mirror and see is it yourself or is it, you know, in the construction space, of course, there's loads of retail closed down and there's nothing them guys can do, but in the construction space, I'd be just saying, right, like there's so much work out there at the minute and there's a massive shortage of staff, you know.
Yeah, I'm not like super excited about it, to be honest. I don't think, you know, but I'm sort of hopeful maybe there's a diamond in a rough there that she'll put my way. I just want someone who has a bit of experience or some experience around what I do, renovations, extensions, things like that, and that cares about the job. There's a lot of this, a lot of people just don't give a shit, more interest in their phones and going home and getting paid, and they just have sort of no respect for anything that's going on.
Yeah, they work from the neck down. There's just no thinking about. Yeah.
No, and I mean, even I made them. So not a mistake. I had my dad and my son on the book there, and my dad literally walked out 2 days ago. Had a little meltdown. He's a bit hot-headed.
Hold on, did you say you had your dad and who?
And my son.
How old is your son?
18.
Jesus, didn't know you had an 18-year-old son. Fair play.
Yeah, well, I'm 40. I had killed him when I was 21. Yeah.
All right, now listen, man. I've got a 19-year-old, but I just never knew you had a son. Yeah, and actually, I didn't think you were 40. You sound a lot younger.
Yep, I'm 40 into December there, just gone.
Good man, happy birthday, belated. Is it that long since we spoke,
you.
Greg? Oh my God. We had a quick chat this year, but
my fault again. I faded into the background.
You said it, not me.
Yeah.
So tell me the crack. You had the old lad and the son out on site, yeah?
Yeah, and it was going fine at the start, but then in the restaurant was the most stress I've ever felt in my life. Going to sleep, I was like full of anxiety. Waking up at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning, like just like, oh my God, what have I got to do today? And I'm sort of trying to get things sorted in my head in the morning. And
what exactly was caused? Let's just talk about that for 1 minute, if you don't mind, yeah? What was causing that stress? You said the restaurant, but what part of it?
Because it was such a big job. It's probably the biggest budget I've worked with so far. All that you know, something goes wrong, my head rolls. So like I said, it ended up being €90,000 plus VAT. For this job, and then I'm also, because I'm the main building contractor, I'm liaison with everybody that comes in the door, so there was lots of pressure. I couldn't stay on the tools, and if I tried to do something on the tools, I'd get pulled here, there and everywhere. And then I had my dad and my son running around, Greg, what do we do now? There's just, you know, no initiative going on, and I was just like literally stretched so thin, dragged here, there and everywhere. Then falling behind on the work that initially I thought, you know, I'll do that. I'll build the booths and I'll build the seats and I'll build the glazed partition, and then not finding time to do it because I really should be off the tools running something like that. It's that big. Yeah. So it was just, I just felt a lot of pressure.
See the way you felt pressure and you're waking up at 4 in the morning and all, yeah? Like, I kind of have like an unusual relationship with, or an unusual belief around stress and anxiety and all that sort of stuff, right? And people think it's bad, right? But you see the way you were so stressed out, it was waking you up at 4 in the morning, right? The exact polar opposite of that is like just not giving two shits and you're lounging out of bed at 10 in the morning, yeah? So we just need to tone that down a little bit so that it gets you out of bed at 5:27 when the alarm is set for 7, rather than getting you out of bed at 4 o'clock. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, pressure is good, you know? a little bit of stress is good if you can handle it correctly and learn to handle it. I just find that if you speak to anybody other than me, they'd be like, "Oh no, yeah, it's terrible." But I just think if you can manage this stress and pressure, this is what will take you to the top. You know.
Yeah, but this is another thing that sort of fell out. My dad, he kept going, you know, you can't. You go, why are you so stressed? You're gonna have a heart attack.
Let me jump in here, and I'm sorry to interrupt you on this, right?
No, go ahead.
That is your dad, yeah?
Yeah.
He wiped your ass when you were a kid, yeah? Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't see much difference in you now than then, right?
No.
And he has one job in this world, right? Which is to provide for you and keep you safe, yeah?
Yeah.
So no matter what, you will always be his little boy, if that makes sense. All he wants to do is make sure you're safe and relaxed. And
yeah, but you know, I didn't feel like he was doing that because he could see the pressure I was under. He could see the amount of work I was running, but yet he was still poking and prodding at me and shouting at me, and I was like, I don't need you on top of me.
He doesn't know any better.
No, he doesn't.
You see, I do always say there's two types of support you can get, right? Did you ever do any boxing?
Did I ever do boxing?
Yeah, as a kid or anything like that. Or anyway.
Kickboxing.
Kickboxing, right. So, you know when you're getting, and I done kickboxing for years as well, right? You know when you're getting slapped around the ring and you get back to the corner at the end of the round and the trainer is giving you the little pep talk. And he's like, listen to me, stop walking onto that right hand. And you're like, yeah. And he's like, no, listen to me, will you stop? Like, and he might give you a little tap on the side of the headgear to just like, listen to me, I'm telling you what you need to do. You've got your training. Don't be fighting his fight. Fight your fight. You know what you need to do here. And he's kind of giving out you, but that's support he's giving you, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the support your trainer will give you. The type of support that your ma will give you in the exact same fight is she'll be standing outside the ring saying, don't mind him, son, come on. And when you sit on the stool at the end of the round, she'll come over and she'll be grabbing you by the top or whatever you have and say, come on, let's go home. There's no point you being in there letting him hit you like that. And that's her way of supporting you, which is not the support that you want in business.
No.
And that's your dad's way of supporting you. But he doesn't understand
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And that's why, you know, the support I give to people is like, because I'm giving a certain type of support to a certain type of person. Yourself, look, stress is good. That little bit of anxiety is good, but you need to learn to manage it. Everyone else will tell you to get, you know, these are the things. So, you know, even like I do have my own dad working for me, right? And, you know, we worked together growing up for years and it was just like petrol and matches. There was just always ready to blow up at any second, right? And when we don't work together, we get on grand, right? And he'd often give me a little bit of a dig out on different things nowadays if I needed like something collected or something like that. But I wouldn't be able to work with him all day, every day, because we would have killings. And if I need him to pick up something for me, like he drives this truck and he's handy for collecting furniture, you know. I'm like, I actually don't even talk to him about it. I get someone else to give him a bell about it. But I know he has me back wherever he goes. If there's something not right, he'll ring me, say, "You sure that's okay out there?" And you know. But if we were together, you know, I'm the captain of my ship now, and he would struggle to take instructions from me, and I know he would, so I don't really give him the instructions. Does that make sense? That's why I'm actually always very jealous when I hear people getting on really well working with their father, because it's a rarity, you know.
Yeah, I thought it would work. Everyone told me it wouldn't, and I was a little put out that it didn't. But you know, in hindsight, I should have known.
But you'll find a way. You'll find a way to fit him in. If is your dad working or is he retired? Or?
Well, like you say there, so his specialty is steel engineering. So I had him doing shop fit outs and helping me with stuff that he's completely out of his depth with, and that's why he was running around. What do I do now? What do I do now? What do I do now? And his little wobblers were like, I'm not fucking standing here doing nothing, you know. And I don't want to have a row with him, so I'm not responding. But my thought is, I want you to stand there and do nothing until I'm ready to send you to the hardware or do this or blah blah blah. I don't want to disrespect them and have a row in front of people that I'm working with, so I just keep quiet. But he's walked out. He said he doesn't want to work, blah blah blah. But he was up today, and I just approached him and said, look, with the extension, what's the story with the steel? Will you still weld up the steel and that? And he said, yeah, no, I'll do the steel. So I think he just can't handle the pressure, he can't handle the pressure of the shop and can't handle me being under pressure. And maybe to him it was fun at the start.
Yes.
But it's not fun. It's serious, and I'm seriously trying to grow a business and make something of myself. And I think he just, it's not what he thought it was going to be.
What you need to, well, no, again, look, I don't know your dad, but this is just in my experience, right? What you need to understand there, in my opinion, right, is that nobody will speak bad of you, or nobody will swing the lead on any of your jobs when your dad is there. So the best thing that you could do is rely on him to do work that doesn't involve you being on site.
Yeah.
And it'll work well, and you've got a guy that you can trust no matter what there,
Yeah.
So now that's that. But look, this is a serious learning curve. How much worth of business have you done since you started off?
I would have to look at my invoice to go. But sure, last year was a bit slow. So maybe from June to Christmas, I probably did, let's just say 30, 40, 45, probably 60,000. From January to now, I have turned over maybe 90,000. So it's jumped up incredible. Now I know I'm also in the right place at the right time, as the pandemic has just sent things through the roof. But yeah,
see what you've just said there. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am sick to death of listening to people talking about what's going on now, and they're saying, you see the way things are at the minute, and they say to me the way things are at the minute, right? And the next comment they make lets me know exactly what type of person they are, right? Because as you said, kind of the way things are at the minute, which means you're in the right place at the right time. There's other people saying the way things are at the minute, and they're sitting at home doing nothing. And I believe it's purely based on your outlook and your perspective. If you want to be busy and you want to win, you're going to use every situation that gets thrown at you to your advantage. If deep down you're lazy and you don't care and you're unmotivated and you point fingers at people, you'll become a victim of every situation.
Yeah, that's not me.
Exactly. No, nobody in our crew is like that, Greg. No 52-step crew member is like that. They wouldn't last if they were,
Not at all. I want to make money at the end of this year and hopefully have something to invest. And I don't care if I end up selling ice cream to make money, whatever. But I definitely just want to succeed and make money, because I've been breaking my nuts for 20 years and have very little to show from a bar, like my liabilities.
The only thing you have is liabilities. Okay, well look, let's
house we live in and whatnot.
Let's have a chat around that, right? And let's get you to 100 grand in the bank by the end of the year. Well, let's try it like with everyone else, right? So. Yeah. I'm not seeing your name on my board of 100 people in my office here.
I did when I seen again. I'm not. I need to commit more to looking at the page.
I'm looking at it. You're there. You're number 40. You're number 40.
Yeah, I was going to say I did put a number in there.
Gotcha. Well, look, let's recap on. Let's just touch on a couple of things here, right? That we can get going on, and don't leave it too long before we're chatting again, yeah? Because that's. Mm-hmm. I could have possibly helped you with a little bit of that stress that was going on in that restaurant had I heard from you, yeah?
Okay.
Right, so have you got a pen handy?
Yes.
Right, so the first thing what we need to do is, and I suppose we didn't speak about it there, is cash flow, okay? The first thing we need to do is agree what the zero is in your bank account. So agree what amount of money you're going to have in your bank account that at that point you'll stop spending. And that will give you a little bit of comfort. I would recommend having it at least 10 grand, yeah?
Okay.
Right. The second thing that you need to do is you need to go and complete your make or break sheet and figure out how much is your daily break even point that will include the €500 profit per day, yeah?
Agreed.
Okay, that's what you need to do. And then what I want you to do is all those jobs that you're doing and you price them in the manner you're pricing them, I want you to then go back and price them on a per day rate basis with your daily break even point taken into consideration, yeah?
Price day rate with break even in consideration.
So what you're doing here is you're pricing from the top to the bottom and then from the bottom to the top. So you get your bill of quantities and it says 100 grand and you take off the materials and subbies and it's 40 grand, and then you work out that your daily break even point is 1,000 a day, and if you've got less than 40 days on the job, you're going to hit your target. If you've got more than 40 days on the job, you won't hit your target. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So just follow these things. Set the zero in the bank account. Let me know on that for our next call. Complete the daily complete the make or break sheet to get your daily break-even point, yeah?
Yeah.
And then look at which jobs you're doing that is going to get you to your daily break-even point. And again, the magic thing being the break-even point includes the profit of 500 quid a day.
Okay.
And then we need to do a little bit of a past job analysis, which is what we spoke about at the start, which is to see which of these jobs are letting us hit our target and which of these jobs aren't. And we know that most of them haven't allowed us to hit our target now, but we need to figure out why, and we kind of know that already.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like you would probably advise against it. And sort of what I'm working towards is what I want to have. I feel like if I had a couple running at the same time, I would do that. But to do that, I need two good guys. So I need to be able to have two teams.
Right. Gotcha. Well, this is what I think we could do here, right? If you done those exercises, right, we can look and see where the most profitable use of your time is. So before you bring in more people, before you put more people in the car, let's pump up the wheels and check it has fuel and all these other different bits. Let's give it a once over,
Okay, yeah.
And when we've done that, then we'll go off and we'll look at building the team. And will you do us a favour? Will you go and book in another call right away there, will you?
Yep.
It'll be, you probably won't get a call for 3 weeks or so, but just go and book it. And we can have a chat again, and we'll catch up then on please try and catch up on the Thursdays in the meantime, yeah?
Okay.
And we'll go from there, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, my man. Greg, you are doing a great job. Fair play to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just tune in to us a little bit more, yeah? And we will make this journey easier for you, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, my man. See you at the top. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So, guys, that was Greg Bates from After Rain Construction. And as you can hear, Greg he's a really nice guy, and he's 100% committed to what's going on. He's only 6, 7, 8, 9 months, wherever it is, less than a year in business now. And he's getting torn from pillar to post, but he's in the right place. We're helping him out, and if we could hear from him a little bit more, we'd be able to help him out a little bit more. But he's on the right track, and I can definitely relate to what he's saying there with having family members work for him. We've all been down that road ourselves in the past. So, guys, thank you for listening. See you at the top. So, folks, that concludes another episode of the Tradesman Survival Guide podcast. Don't forget that all of the tactics and strategies discussed in today's podcast are from my book, The Tradesman Survival Guide, which is available to buy online at www.joedoyle.ie/TSG. TSG being, of course, short for The Tradesman Survival Guide.